Hey, how's it going, YouTube? It's been a while since we last talked, and there were many moments where I just wanted to turn on the camera and talk to you about what was on my mind and everything, but I wanted to stay true to the rhythm, the cadence of, hey, every time the next video hits 1,000 views, then I'll upload the next one. And it took a while, but we finally did it. Let's go. And Bernie right now is a little sleepy, so he might be... I might just hold him to help him fall asleep, but yeah, I mean, what you see on my desk right now, this is, I'm in a season right now of job searching. And this is the chaos of what it looks like behind the scenes. I flipped all the papers to the other side so you don't see the notes, but this is what it looks like. And if you want to know how I'm doing in one word, I guess I would say I'm tired. Like, legit, I'm tired. But I think I mean that in a good way, right? Because at the end of this tunnel, this job seeking journey, something good is gonna happen. Some magic is about to happen. Like, I believe in it. And I think that's one of the most important things you can do for yourself. Like, if you're going through a struggle, whether you're at work and you're working on a project, or at school, or applying to get to school, or applying for jobs, or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve right now, you gotta believe in yourself. Because at the end of the day, you only really have control of two things. Right, we can't control the weather. Like right now, behind the camera, it is raining up a storm. Right, we can't control the weather. You can't control what your neighbor says to you, or how the person to the right of you drives. Right? Out of your control. But the two things that you really can't control is your mentality, like your mindset, right? Are you gonna be optimistic? You're gonna be pessimistic. And number two is your language, the way that you talk to yourself and to others. Those are the only two things you can really control. So why allow those variables to also go against you? Right? It's just something to think about. So I just took a shower, and I know my hair is kind of wet, but it'll dry up. It'll dry up. By the way, my face is like breaking out right now. I've got what you call stress pimples. So go ahead and do me a favor and turn down the video resolution. Watch this on like 240p or 144. It's a little blurry. But if you look real close, I got pimples all over. I'm a little stressed out, but it's in a good way, right? Because I'm trying to do the right thing, I'm trying to get a good job. Because I mean, I know my worth, right? I know my value, I know what I can contribute, I know the impact that I can make. So it's one of those things, right? Knowing your worth and then avoiding just taking any old job. But that's for a whole different discussion, right? Today's video, I just wanted to talk to you about modern day anxieties, because I feel like anxieties in 2020 is a whole different ballgame than anxieties that people must have faced back in the day. And by the way, if anyone else is in the same situation as me, like if you're looking for a job right now during the COVID-19 pandemic, leave a comment down below and let me know if you're going through the struggle as well. It's a hot mess out here. But you just gotta keep fighting the fight and just stay strong, right? At the end of it, we're all gonna have a job, so bless up, right? So I don't know, I mean, when I wrote this video script or whatever, I feel like I was in a different mentality, right? I was feeling a little anxious or a little nervous about the future and everything, but I think I should write video scripts when I have the right mindset, you know, when I'm a little more positive. I think I wrote this when I was a little nervous, like, oh man, the economic situation here in the States, and I guess globally, it's looking a little dim, and I don't know, man, trying to stay positive through all that, but I might go off the record a few times. I mean, I might stay to the script a little, but I guess just to start it off, I wanted to read off some statistics that I found. This is such a bad video, by the way, but it is what it is. And I'll definitely go ahead and leave the sources for this in the video description so you can look at it yourself. But let me just read some, okay? So, 78% of millennials believe life is more stressful today than for previous generations. The number one reason? debt. So like student loans and everything. The second reason, competitive job market. Currently going through it, so I know the struggle. And number 3 is expensive healthcare. Only 12% of millennials regularly set aside time to de-stress. So, I mean, raise your hand right now if you actually take time to do some self-care every day. Do you take that time to do that yoga? Take that time to go running in the morning? Do you take that time to do that little, that bath? Right, that bath time when you're just laying in there playing some songs or watching YouTube videos. How many of us actually take the time to make sure that we ourselves are maintained? Right, that's a struggle in itself. Here's another crazy one. Members of Generation Z, people aged 15 to 21. They reported the worst mental health of any generation included in the American Psychological Association. So Gen Z, like, I feel y'all. According to the data, right, y'all are feeling the most of this. What's this? 37% of Gen Z individuals, more than any other generation, reported receiving help from a therapist or a mental health professional. So at least a third, right? At least a third of the Gen Zs are doing what they ought to be doing, right? Seeking help. So that's a good thing, but it's sad to see such a high number of people struggling right there. Check this one out. The levels of loneliness are so high among young people that they say that's one of the contributing factors to the stress epidemic. Research has shown that a strong social network can help mitigate the effects of stress and improve mental health overall. I mean, let's be honest, right? I think social media is a beautiful thing. It helps connect us to our cousin up in Nigeria or to our long distance relationship fellow in China, etc. But I don't think that as a society we should be allowing social media to replace that human face-to-face interaction. And the moment that we do that is the moment that we run into trouble. Because I'm gonna get into that, but I'm gonna talk about like how we were designed to be relational creatures and to substitute that FaceTime, to be hanging out with someone in a living room, sitting on a couch, hanging out with social media. And I mean, in 2020, we do have the pandemic going on, so I understand there's social distancing, but when things were not as scary as right now, right? I lived in East Asia myself, like Korea, Japan, and all that. And I can tell you there's a lot of people that substitute that human interaction time with social media. So whenever I went out to eat, I would notice a lot of people would have their earphones in and literally watch somebody else eat on their phone as they eat by themselves. And it's like a phenomenon called like mukbang. And I get like it has its therapeutic effects so that people that don't have someone to eat with can eat with the mukbang person. And it's good, but how I see it is, man, how did we get to this point, right, where we're so socially isolated in a world where we're surrounded by people? Right, like, has that ever hit your head? Like, there's so many people all around us, but sometimes we choose to be intentionally isolated. And other times, we don't have that choice. Like, we're isolated because we don't have that social connection to the people around us. And it's sad, right? The sense of community is just like disappearing all around. But let me go ahead and read something else. The forecast for millennials' mental health in 2020 doesn't look pretty. Depression and despair are on the rise. Millennials feel that their jobs have such a big impact on their overall mental health And because of longer work hours, stagnant wages, millennials are suffering from burnout more than ever. Man, I really did my research. There's a lot of statistics over here. So this is exactly what I was just talking about. I wish I would have read this statistic a little earlier, like maybe 10 minutes ago. Despite being more connected, we also feel more alone. 44% of constant checkers, the people that are always on their phone looking at Instagram, going straight to Facebook, to YouTube, to Twitter, right back into Instagram. Constant checkers, or maybe you're a professional and you're always refreshing your email, LinkedIn, whatever. 44% of constant checkers report feeling isolated because of technology, even if they're surrounded by people such as their family or loved ones. And check this out, Catherine Nordell. All right? Check what she has to say about all of this. The role that a lack of social support plays in a person's health is so underestimated. Loneliness has been associated with a wide variety of health problems, like high blood pressure, your immunity being decreased, heart disease. Man, it's just so sad to see all of that, man. And so, I don't know, I just felt compelled to make this video, you know what I mean? Like talking about anxiety in a modern day 2020. And I feel like these days we have all the reasons to have some of this anxiety, right? Because we got this pandemic going on. People are getting fired left and right. The economic situation isn't looking good. The life that we used to know, right, has been stripped away. And I kind of want to tie it back to, as a high schooler, I remember when the mortgage crisis, in 2008, 2009 was happening. And I remember watching the news. By the way, avoid the news if you want to be happy. You want to be stressed out, watch the news. But I remember people being fired left and right and people losing their homes. Like, my family, we lost their home during that crisis. And I remember thinking, well, at least I'm not trying to look for a job. Kind of funny, right? Full swing. It's 2020, I'm trying to get a job, and we're in a recession like we've never seen before. And it wasn't instigated by the banks or the financial markets. It was instigated by a pandemic, a virus. So it's just it's out of my control. So what I can do is just stay positive, right? Every interaction, every person that I network with, just stay positive and just know that something big is about to happen. That's my mindset. So I'm gonna make a full-out disclosure right here. It's hot, right? It's raining up a storm out there, so it's humid. Oh, buddy. So maybe the temperature is not hot, but because of the humidity, oof, so I had to go change. So I put on some shorts. I'm like that, okay? I'm like that. So I don't know, I'm looking at my script. I haven't even said anything on here really, so let's see what I wrote. We weren't designed to handle all the pressures, expectations, to be in the office classroom all day, with all the fears, financial, career, relational, and social media. When we were designed, we were created to be outdoors, to be hanging out with people, to live a more low-stress life. I don't know, that kind of makes sense though, right? You think about this dog right here. I imagine way back in the day, he probably looked a little bit like a wolf. I'm not saying he was a full-out wolf, but if you go up Bernie's family tree, you probably see something that resembles like a wolf. Now you take something like Bernie here, right? He was created in one way, and then you force him into doing something that he wasn't designed to do. Sometimes they can thrive, but other times they can crash and burn. Right, like if I would have forced this guy right here to pick up a rifle and become a soldier, he's gonna be struggling. right? And that's kind of like how I think about like modern day humans sometimes. I think we were designed to live a more simpler life, you know, embracing minimalism and everything, but the way that the world is operating, that's just not the way it is, right? Some of us are juggling 2 to 3 jobs. Some of us are working or studying 60, 70 hours a week. Some of us are in debt so high, we don't even know how we're gonna pay it off. Like, we got all of this variables thrown our way that wasn't meant to be in the first place. So it's wild to think about, and you'll hear some old people say like, this generation's so soft. This generation just needs to suck it up. And I'm just like, sometimes it's all about perspective. You just gotta think about, yeah, your generation went through something tough as well, right? Like World War II, maybe the Great Depression and all that. But I feel like this new generation is facing variables that the other generations never had to really grasp, right? Social media being one of them. Like, I think social media has such a beautiful power to do good, but is also the platform of so much hurt. And it's so ironic, because this is on social media, right? Here you go, buddy. I wrote this point right here, and it makes sense. Like, as humans, I think it's a natural tendency, right? You know you're a human if you're concerned about the welfare of your outcome. But if you find yourself being nonchalant, be like, man, I don't care. We can dismiss that as being weird, right? Because like, if you're invested in something and you want that to happen for you, you work hard, you do the right things, you network right, you kind of envision yourself getting it. And if you don't, it's natural to feel that disappointment, or the day before you get the phone call, whether or not you get the job or you don't, or whatever it is, the email, you get anxious. You're like, oh, I hope it works out. You're not gonna be like, I don't care. I only know a few people in my life that are like that, and I wish I could be more like them. But if you're anything like me, you care. You care about every interaction. You care about your outcomes. You try your best to do whatever you can to shape your destiny. And I'm guilty of that. And I think if I were to redo this script, I think I would incorporate that so much more, talking about why are you trying to control your life to an obsessive level. You know, sometimes I just feel like in the greater grand scheme of things, doors close for the right reason. It wasn't meant to be. Maybe it wasn't your time. Maybe it was for someone else. Right? And there's this misconception out there for some people, like they think that when a door opens, it's a blessing. It's a call to action. It's a part of their destiny. But I'm trying to say, like, not every door that opens is good for you or is for you. Sometimes, we've all been in that situation, right? To do the wrong thing. That door opened, but did you do it? Maybe it was to do a very harmful drug that's not good for your body. Maybe it was to do an unethical decision. Whatever it is, right? You had that choice, that door open. Just because it's open doesn't mean you should have done it, and you didn't do it. Or maybe you did do it, and you understand it wasn't the right thing. So I think if I had the chance to redo this, I think I would talk more about, I think a lot of the anxieties that I have boils down to trying to micromanage the outcomes in hand. You know, because I understand and I operate with the other side of this, which is Just do what you can, do the right things, give it your all. And if it doesn't work out, it just wasn't meant to be. Right? And that's the philosophy that I've been operating with for the past 3 weeks. When I wrote this, different mindset. Because I'm human too, right? I have that mindset that in the grand scheme of things, what's meant to be is gonna happen. But sometimes, maybe once a month, once a year, I do have that moment where I doubt myself, man, it ain't gonna work out. And I don't believe in myself. And I think that just reminds you, and me too, how we're human, man. If we were robots, we could program ourselves to be emotionally numb, to be I don't care. But one thing that I've noticed is successful people in life, no matter what walk they take, right? Whether they're an athlete, or a pastor, or a business person, or a teacher, or whatever, they care. They care about their outcomes because they know the impact that it has onto others. I think everyone and anyone who's ever been into a high position of power or success got there through hard work and determination and genetic gifts. But I feel like a majority of them understood the concept that what's meant to be is going to be. I'm sure there's a few that worry their way up there to being happy and successful. Is that even a thing? Can you really be so anxious about your outcomes, finding the right woman to marry, the man to marry, the job to have, the career to have, the school to go to? Can you be so worried about that you'll never be happy? I don't know. Because how I see it is, once you get it, you're going to have something else you're going to be worrying about. It's just like a never-ending cycle. So what I think is, man, forget this script, right? What I think is, sometimes in life, most times in life, you just got to do the best that you can, right? And stop trying to micromanage the outcomes. You just got to give it up in terms of what's meant to be is going to happen. When you try to micromanage everything, you start to excessively worry and you develop anxieties from your own over-worrying.
Bernie, why are you crying? Oh, you want to play? Oh,
It's raining. I usually take him out on a run, but I decided today, probably not safe, It's raining pretty hard, so. You want me to hold you? Okay. He wants me to hold him, I think.
You go, baby.
Just do the best that you can and give it up, right? And hope for the best. Because at the end of the day, whether it happens or it doesn't happen, it's fine. If you don't get it, it just wasn't meant to be. I know it's so much easier said than done. But once you understand that mentality, it wasn't meant to be because there's something else in store for you, it changes everything. It changes your mindset and the way you look at everything. Because you think to yourself, all right, this door closed, but I am so excited to see what's going to happen next. And one day I'm going to make a video talking about everything, about how all the doors that closed in my life at the time really just hurt me and killed me, but how it allowed me to open the door for another possibility that really shaped who I am today. So, I don't know, that was my little rant. This was a really, I don't know, it felt like a raw video. I had an approach that I wanted to take 3 weeks ago when I wrote this script, but I had to wait till the video got 1,000 views. So I bet this time it's gonna take a while to get 1,000 views as well, but next time I'm gonna be talking about our purpose in life. And I'm super excited because we have this notion in our heads how we gotta find our purpose, but I'm going to flip it upside down, shake it up, stir it, and spit it back out and say, your purpose finds you. You don't find your purpose. Pretty excited about that one. Let me know your thoughts about this video, and yeah, I mean, when this reaches 1,000 views, to allow people to, the time to digest it and to catch up, I'll go ahead and film that next one and upload that one. But yeah, I'll talk to you next time, and stay safe, stay strong, stay positive, please. Remember the two things? There's only two things we truly have control over in our lives: our mentality and our language. I'll talk to you next time.